Hello, Brittany. Great to see you again. Thank you for preparing the sponsorship pages for Greater Than Tech. And so I wanted to talk to you today, like to see what you have that you can share with me, so then we can share it with our founder, Jasmine LaFleur for Greater Than Tech, as we her need us to request sponsorship and funds for her programming. So, I want your feedback on, just walk us through the pages that you put together, along with any issues you had or challenges you had along the way, and anything that you really enjoyed about this project as well.
So thank you for having me. In this particular project, because I'm not actually as involved with STEAM as you guys are, I kind of felt like I have to be really anchored in just what I understand about sales and business development, and take a look at your customer, from that point of view versus being within the industry, because I don't have as much experience in the industry in the position that you guys are in. I'm introduced to it through sales, but I'm not in the nitty gritty of the actual engineering,
Yes.
So just taking on the understanding of what I know about target customers that are sponsors in the nonprofit world, a lot of times they're looking for exposure, they're looking for brand alignment, and they're looking for strong brands as far as having strong owners, founders, or systems within them, so they can feel safe and secure that their benefits will actually be delivered. And that, that customer demographic to me applies to the core of all types of customers. In this particular instance, it's nonprofit, that's the playing field, but the customer wants and desires at the core are still going to be pretty much the same at this level of product that they're interested in. So understanding that right now we need to be meeting digital needs as far as marketing and promotion. There needs to be a core product within there that's attractive, dependable, which is her programming and curriculum that attracts the network the sponsors want to be in front of. And then also understanding, from the owner and the founder, what she actually enjoys doing, what are her desires, what is her vision, what is she actually trying to deliver. So making sure all of those things come together in alignment so that when we put the package together, it's actually a package that, her potential customer will be interested in buying into, because of course they're interested in buying into her and they want her to continue doing what she does.
Right.
So that's why I framed the top level sponsorship around the 3 programs: Girl Meets Drone, Demo Day, and Tech Outside the Box.
Mm-hmm.
And once I actually read one of her proposals, I could actually see that the proposal itself is in essence a form of curriculum, because she could actually detail out her proposal, which lists what's going to happen on each day. It's a 4-week program. This is exactly what happens. This is exactly what you do. That's training curriculum.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So really what you're doing is you are actually selling this. Actually, you sold a 4-week program in real life, but the tangible of that was the proposal they got. They paid $4,000 for that piece of paper you gave them. You put on a program, you executed it. But they could have put someone in place because you gave them the whole blueprint.
Right.
So once I figured that out, I said, okay, so that's what you do. You can put on the program, you can show up in person, you can do all of these things, but what you actually sold right then and there in that transaction was that piece of paper.
Right.
Okay, so that's what they want to buy. And they either want to buy the piece of paper that talks about Girl Meets Drone, or they want to talk about Demo Day, or they want to, buy the piece of paper that tells you exactly how to do Tech Outside the Box.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So, and what that would look like at the sponsorship level, because we also want to make sure that it's an exposure opportunity, that, okay, now we can do something that's co-branded, where I can do a co-branded type of curriculum for you, which may, when she delivers it, look like the proposal, just more detailed out. Or it could look like something else, but essentially, whatever she decides she wants that to look like, it also will be a branding opportunity that she can push and promote throughout her network and throughout her community. So we see at the top level, we've got those core things already satisfied. We've got exposure, we've got alignment with a trusted brand because it's a co-branding opportunity. And we've got that strong, tangible programming, which is the curriculum that she just busted out really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So then as we continue on, this talks a little bit more about why this programming or this sponsorship is right for you. And again, that's because we want to make sure that we're talking directly to the customer.
Mm-hmm. So on that, I think you had mentioned earlier that you had a couple of challenges with pulling that information maybe out of the proposal.
Yes. So fortunately, I know who the owner is. I know Jasmine. We're both students of the same collaborative university. We've taken multiple trips together. We've taken hikes. We've spent time. Like, I know her. Mm-hmm. So outside of just reading what she was able to give me, having a background understanding of her, and seeing that, okay, we're actually missing some key information in here. So, on one hand, you could write something and it's just really to give information. But on the other hand, when we're writing to sell, mm-hmm. there's certain things we want to be talking about. So I know personally from my experience with Jasmine that Greater Than Tech it's an opportunity to start at the foundational level to increase more women in the STEAM industries, especially engineering and especially drones. So I know that, but the way that it's written, it tells you a whole bunch of facts about there's not a lot of Black women in STEAM. There's definitely not a lot of Black women who own their businesses in STEAM industries, but it doesn't actually talk about the why that even matters or why that's important.
Right. Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, especially in preparing my dissertation and all the papers that come before the dissertation, there is a section in there where you actually talk about the background of the problem, or even if you're doing a pitch deck slide where you have the problem, you have the solution, and then you kind of go exactly what you're asking, like, why is that right for a certain organization? And so a lot of people combine that with the solution, but sometimes the solution solves the large problem, but why that's relevant to your actual customer is it's a different thing there. Yeah,
exactly. And that's the core piece that was missing, the hook. Because if you go into a room and there's only one Black woman, and we're assuming this is some sort of upper level C-suite exchange, 9 white men, 1 Black woman. Okay, first you're saying that's a problem. Okay, maybe to you, mm-hmm. And then you're giving me more information about how often this problem is seen, but you're not really describing why, because it doesn't have to be a problem. It doesn't have to actually be. This could be perfect. Some people believe it is.
Yeah.
But why? Why is it a problem to you? Why, of all the problems Greater Than Tech can take on, mm-hmm. you want to take on this?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And who else are you looking for that's interested in taking on this program? Like, not program, but problem. Because you're saying it's a problem. So whose problem is it and why?
Right.
And so because that story's not fully crafted, it's like we're so close to the mark. We're almost talking to them, but it's not quite. Mm-hmm. Because on one hand, I was thinking, well, is she saying that this is a problem because, these careers pay a lot? After a few, like, these are, like, as you progress in these careers, they're 6-7 figure salaries? Do they open you up to new experiences? Do they, is it about equity? Is it about ownership? Is it about, because, okay, well then so actually hardlining why and making the bridges between.
Right.
Why this is the problem, so that when we get to here in this section, how do I know if this opportunity is a great fit for my organization? Because she's clearly defining why it's a problem and why we have to solve it. because I know why I want to solve it as the company she's selling to. We're doing it every day. This is what we do. We're trying to solve this problem. Or do you solve this problem too? Because you care about it? Oh, okay. Then it makes sense for our companies to align, because now we are both, battling and solving this problem.
Yeah, that's good. I think also potentially like with the customer persona, when you're writing that out, it's, what does that person kind of look like or whatever. But then the big part of that is, what do they try to do every day? Like what's the thing that they're trying to solve, and why are they having difficulty in that, where you can fill in and fix that difficulty for them.
Right. And I think she's it, when it's like, are you the one? You're the one. You're the reason why. You girl, you. You're the reason why Greater Than Tech is here, because when you're out in these careers, you need to build relationships, you need safe spaces, you need, especially if you're someone who, like her, is focused and ambitious, and she wants these same opportunities to be open to other girls just like her that are focused and ambitious. That's why we're trying to spread the gospel of Greater Than Tech.
Right.
So I think really telling and being authentic in that story. Like, I don't want to be the only Black woman here. I don't want to be the only Black woman on my block, because, I'm going to be living in a nice neighborhood. I don't want to be the only one. So I want to make sure that I open up these opportunities. And I understand that for us, it's at the foundation. It's at K through 12. It's at K through 5. It's, and then it's pre-K. But and then what you're really saying is you want to be in front of the people who are also talking to, who have the most intimate acquaintance, teachers, leaders, program leaders. They don't necessarily have to be the professionals themselves, because you're just trying to make sure that these girls at that young level get introduced to this as quickly as possible in a positive way.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. So this is the annual partner level. And I think you hit home on those benefits, and then maybe we can, when we meet with her, or even just as she views this, you can go ahead and maybe update that paragraph at the bottom of that page, of like, how will an organization know if it's the right opportunity for them? Okay, and so let's go ahead and see what is on the next page.
And so the annual individual level member is designed in a similar fashion. It's just scaled down. So again, with really understanding that her proposals can be, translated into curriculum, and at the sponsor level, they basically buy it out. Okay, well, at the individual level, you have access to members only pricing. So maybe you are a youth leader and you would like to take on a component of, a piece of curriculum, but you don't want to do the whole thing. Well, okay, well, maybe you'll just do one day, but you have discounted pricing. So of course, the better value is if you can come in as a sponsor or at the partner level, but if you want to, get acclimated with STEAM, if you have more professional career goals, if you want to be a part of a community and a network, coming in at the individual level is going to allow you to do that.
Right. Yeah, that looks good. And then similarly here, I know that opportunity is right for you.
Right.
For STEAM curriculum from a real STEAM career professional.
And that's just, what I'm perceiving the value to be, because that's not what was in her documentation.
Right.
But, because I know her, I'm like, oh no, girl, this is your value. This is what they're getting from being around you, from buying into you, because it allows you to do what you do, but now at an individual level, they can participate.
All right. Yeah, that looks good. Just reviewing it really quickly. Yep. Okay. So yeah, we can just go over probably just those 2 points with her. How do they know if it's the right opportunity as a partner or as a member? And then we can just clean those up in our follow-up meeting with her. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
And this is
this.
the last page, the, basic onboarding that she could use.
Mhm. So in here, as a new member or new partner comes on, we encourage them to follow Greater Than Tech or follow that company on all platforms that they currently hold. Then also subscribe to usually their newsletter or however they communicate with their customers, and pre-register for that Greater Than Tech signature event. So there are a couple different events that are in the works or already going on for Greater Than Tech. So we can discuss that with her on exactly how she'd like that to be communicated, or how they would like to have people sign up for those. I think that's good. And then to schedule a one-on-one new member introduction to jumpstart a successful year with Greater Than Tech. So ideally, there's some type of way that people can schedule time with her, especially once they paid into supporting her and supporting this vision. And if there's not, we can discuss that, because I know at least for the STEAM Collaborative, we have all of those already in place, some of them at the pro member level, and we can provide access to members of the STEAM Collaborative to be able to have those as well for people to pre-register for members of the STEAM Collaborative events, or even scheduling a meeting with Greater Than Tech through one of our platforms that's a form of meeting schedule. So yeah, that's great. Thank you for sharing that. Anything else?
No. So to wrap up, the only thing we would want to do is really solidify, crystallize the why, so that when we start really talking to the customer about why this is great for them and how we know that they're our perfect customer, it's because they can identify with the story, with her, with what, the why it's important, the why it matters.
All right. And so I think at one point we were earlier in our discussions, it was about maybe having sponsors for one of the signature events in particular. Did we still want to do something like that? Maybe we can just discuss that with her. But I think what you have here is an avenue where people can sponsor these events. Maybe it's not just calling out that event directly that they're sponsoring, but they're sponsoring Greater Than Tech in whichever way they'd like to provide those partner benefits.
Yes, because if she thinks about it just at this level, and that's why he even says on all digital marketing and online promotion at the sponsor level, this is like the bottom tier. So when she actually puts on, Girl Meets Drone, they would be at the bottom. But she could start from there and go up, because now, and this is just a part of the inside sales strategy, you can really start to take a look at each particular program and build your own sponsorship level, but you can start it starting at 5 and then going up from there.
Right.
Or you could start it higher than 5 because you've already got 5,000 as carved out as its own product. So really this is meant to just give you a bottom level foundation that you can build from as you get to each program. Because if one program is $100,000, title sponsor, that's fine. You're already starting down here, but then that lets you see how, okay, well, actually, maybe I should raise my prices for annual partner, or I should raise my prices for member, because now that everything is packaged up, as you get to each event, there's going to be some fundamentals that are exactly the same.
Right. Yep.
And that's what they're.
Yeah, and that's what we do. We keep doing the same event over and over, and as program leaders, as directors of our organizations, we think that they're different things, but they're really the same thing, just maybe implemented different ways. So when we list the signature events here, or the curriculum, Girl Meets Drone, Demo Day, and Take Outside the Box, it can kind of all be the same thing. Like you mentioned, that piece of paper is something people can sponsor. And then actually sponsoring somebody to teach it or to train other staff on how to implement it. That can be a sponsor level. And then actually be there on the day of the event can be a sponsor level as well. So those are options for sponsor levels. But I know since, we're all new to this whole thing, not all of us, but you and I have been working through these thoughts for a long time, but we've learned that trying to get some of these founders to think of things this way first, and then using the knowledge or even just having partners and members come on board so then it can relieve some financial strain. And then that way they can more freely plan these larger signature events or what they'll look like that year. And so instead of us getting a sponsorship packet for that event or for that curriculum, we allow our members to construct that on their own as they develop more what those signature events and curriculum look like and the needs of those. All right. Well, thank you for that, Brittany. I will stop recording and then we'll get this over to Jasmine and see, her comments and feedback. I'll send her this video, but then if she also wants to schedule a follow-up meeting to discuss this, then we can also do that. So thank you so much.